Jay Sheila, baby. Molly. Everybody hates you, everybody not you. Some people lack integrity, some of them look like you. See they reflection in your eyes, some people run when they can't hide. I've been outside the line so long, it's like I'm courtside. Where I belong is irrelevant, no, I'm special.
Welcome back to the Everybody Hates You podcast. I'm your host, Jay Schuler, and this is Myra. We are back with episode 506. 506. All the lonely people. Is there anybody out hearing me?
Oh, wait, that's the wrong song. That's a gospel song. Oh, well. I don't know. It's a song.
But it's like, is it the Beatles? Like, all the lonely people.
It's something. It'd be like, I don't know. It's some song. I feel like they say, all the lonely people out there.
Something. One of those songs about being alone. You Are Not Alone, Michael Jackson. You're not alone. You're not alone. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I know you're far away. That's you know who wrote that though, right?
Who?
R. Kelly.
Oh, fuck.
Now listen to it again. You can hear R. Kelly all over that bitch.
I do.
You're not alone. That's R. Kelly. I don't even know.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your job? Do you want to come to America? America.
Only he can make something like that.
Oh, shit. Fuck! This is the second time
She's been spilling her drink. But it's really not her fault, though. Her coaster is worse than mine. Because her coaster just keeps getting up for her wine.
All right, y'all. Listen, we're not drunk, I promise. It's the wine.
It's just the wine. The wine. Okay. Question number 1. Do you think there are more lonely people in the world post-social media than pre-social media?
When I think about this question, I feel like possibly there may be more lonely people post-COVID because...
Oh, so that's social media, but I should have said COVID, but yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, but they go hand in hand because that's kind of the second part too, because there's arguments that you can say pre-social media we were more interactive with each other because we're in person.
That is true.
But with social media, we can reach out and touch somebody.
Yeah. So I feel like with social media coming around, I feel like it was hard for people to be lonely more so because it's like it's just so accessible to talk to people through social media, so it's really hard. But when you add COVID in, because I don't know why in my brain I was thinking this question had to deal with COVID. I feel like post-COVID, there's more lonely people because we're back working, back getting back out, and I just feel like people don't have any social skills.
And social skills require communicating.
Yeah.
So it's weird that somewhere we lost how to communicate with each other in person.
And it's weird because I feel like people can still be lonely with social media.
Because at the end of the day, you're talking to someone, whether it's texting or FaceTiming, but physical touch.
And it's like, I don't know if lonely could come from people just not knowing themselves. They're creating that fake persona for social media, and then when it's all said and done.
So now you're talking about just feeling alone, in your inner self.
Yeah.
Which
getting
was
too deep. See, it's always that first question. You just get so fucking deep, bro.
But no, because that is important though, because you can feel lonely, and I think there's a power in being able to be alone. But I think being alone for humans, it's not natural. I think to be a human involves being able to communicate with people, being around people. I think we thrive when we're around each other. Even with competition, you need other people to be competitive, to push you to be your best self. Yeah. Motivation. If you look at athletes, they have coaches. You look at actors, there's an acting coach, there's a singing coach. You need some kind of interaction. So I think it's easier to be lonely, like you said, but because social media is such a
surface level thing.
It really is.
You can create your own image and idea of yourself on social media. And I feel like that's what kind of makes people lonely because they probably have this one room in their house that make it look like they live with glitz and glamour, and they walk out and they live in a shed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And that has to fuck with your mental. And then at the end of the day, you're actually really a lonely person. You can.
And like, oh my God, that just comes back to the guy, I think the owner of Amazon, when he was just like, it doesn't matter how much money you have if you're not truly like happy. Because it's all about that interaction with your family, your friends, and those. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have that, you will never be happy. So it's like even people with money be lonely.
Because everything becomes a transaction. You can have money, but then it goes back to the mental thing, because you're questioning, are these people around me because of my money or because of me? If the money stopped, would they be around me? And now you're buying your friends. Everything's transactional. You can buy love. You can buy sex. You can buy these temporary and materialistic things that give you happiness for a little bit, like a drug. And then after that, you still have to go home by yourself, go to sleep. And it's at that time when you're alone, can you handle being alone by yourself?
Exactly. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So how do you think this affects society as a whole?
Honestly, think it goes back to that conversation about mental health we had in the previous episode.
Yeah, because people's mental it's messed up.
Yeah. So it's like, they're lonely within themselves. So then they want to like make other people feel how they feel in whatever way they feel like it's going to make them feel like that.
Well, even look at how we treat our elderly in this country. Like,
I honestly hate that. I hate when I'm at work and those elderly people come in from those homes and nobody comes to visit them.
Yeah.
Nobody comes to see why they're in the hospital. Like, that really bothers me.
I did volunteer work, and they, the nurses would tell you, like, yeah, their family just stopped coming to see them after a while. So they've been here, and their family just... It's really just a drop-off for these people, and you just think of how lonely that is that you lived all of these years, whether you had a close relationship with your family or not, but then they just dropped you in this place, and you are alone, and you're essentially dying. You're in your last years of life. Yeah, society, I don't think we talk about loneliness enough. There's, who was it? Who's magician, David... I forget his name, but it's a guy. He's supposed to be a musician, but is he a magician or a musician? It's one of them.
And I'm like, what is the difference? I wasn't hearing the middle parts.
It's David Copperfield, I think. I think that's who it is.
The name sounds familiar. Is that the guy Impractical Jokers? No?
No, I thought that he was a musician, but the article that I was reading, I'm pretty sure they kept saying he was a magician, and I think the whole thing is that they found it's an American magician. His penthouse, right? They were saying that his penthouse was trashed or something like that, and that the landlords were trying to get at him for it. But they said that he was actually missing. And I gotta look it up to see what's going on if he's still listed as missing. But it's just to me it's scary that you can get so old. You can have family members die, or you just don't have a big friend group or a big family group, and then you're really just taking care of yourself. So you really are the definition of alone, especially if you only have like friends or associates that you talk to a little bit, and you go missing or something happens and people don't even report you missing or anything.
Because that reminds me of this story that one of my coworkers was telling me about this guy, and basically they found him in his house. I don't know what happened with him, but I'm so sure he was sent to the hospital. But the house they found him in was like so trashed, like just trashed. Like it didn't even look like a human could live there. But this man went to work every day. He was a soccer coach for little league kids. Now the kids loved him and everything. But he went back home to that trashy house every night. Nobody ever checked on him or anything. I think like one of the like coworkers like just called to do a wellness check on him, and they like found him like in there. I don't know what was going on. Like he's still living or whatever. But
for me, that's one of the saddest.
That's crazy, bro. And that's why I always would stand by. Like you never know what someone else is going through when they leave your presence. So that's why I will always just be nice. Just be nice, people.
And that's
Be nice. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
that's the other thing too about having like older elders in the family start to pass away. That now, you know how like, and there's a group of people that just because I've had a lot of death happen around me, where you start to figure out the people that just are kind of being nosy, like they're just like not just condolences, but they want to know how the fucking person died. I'd admit before it was important to me to just know what happened to the person. Now that it's happened so many times, all I care is that they weren't alone.
Right.
There's something to me. There's something about taking a last breath and being by yourself that has to be the fucking scariest thing in the world. That's just all I hope for people. Like, especially when you have people that might die from ODs and shit like that. And I know that's kind of morbid, but I'm just like, I just hope someone was with you when you took your last breaths. I think it's a scary thing that's happening when you realize that that this is the last minute or seconds that I'm about to be alive for.
Yeah.
And to not have just, I don't even think it has to be a loved one, just a human being, or even a pet maybe, just someone there to witness that and be there with you. But you're right. You just don't know what demons people are fighting, what their home situation's like, and how alone people
and it's
can
always
feel.
like the nicest people. It's always the nicest people that are the loneliest. I will never understand, but that's how it is.
Are you someone who can be alone but prefers not to be, or someone who prefers not to be alone because you simply can't be alone? You need me to say that again? Because I was about to say, if you kept
hold on, wait. Let's be. So I feel like I'm the first. Like, I can be alone. And it's not that I don't prefer to be alone, because I can be alone. I mean, like, I have friends, so I talk to my friends all the time. I think that's the thing. Like, we talk all the time. So it's like when I do get a chance to be alone, it's like a breath of fresh air a little bit. But then it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't have a problem being alone. So it's like, it doesn't matter. Because I always have someone I can talk to regardless. Like, I live with my aunt. Like, it is what it is. Like, but it's like I know people who cannot be alone. Like, they have to have somebody. And I feel like that's so weird. Because how are you going to grow to love yourself and just be happy with yourself if you can't be alone? Like, it's crazy.
I think it's interesting, especially when people don't even recognize that they're doing things that kind of signal to them not being able to be alone. Because you can see the signs sometimes with people. Some people will get around someone, and you can just tell how much they're talking, how fast they're talking, and how much information they're getting out. That you probably aren't talking to many people. Like, you're trying to get so much information out, talking to this one person. Then there's people that, like, if you're driving in a car, that they can't be quiet. They just can't sit in silence.
I hate that. I really hate people that talk too much. Like, it is no shade. It's no shade. It's no shade when I say this. But I really hate when I go to work and people just want to talk. Like, some days I just don't want to talk right now. I really don't. I know y'all are used to Miranda being the breath of fresh air and happy. But some days, I just want to sit and read my book. Some days, I just want to sit in silence. I got to talk to these patients. I got to talk to these nurses. I got to talk to these doctors. I don't want to fucking talk.
And people can't even pick up on the social
I do
cues.
hair on the side. I got to talk to my damn clients while I'm braiding hair. I don't want to fucking know. I got to call my mama and make up a conversation. I don't want to fucking talk some days. Like, and that's what I be meaning by, like, some days I can be alone because some days I just don't want to talk. I know somebody that can wake up in the morning and sit in my room for 4 hours without the TV on in complete silence. I don't know if that's, like, weird. I don't know if that's, like, serial killer instance. I don't know. But I can literally sit in silence.
Because for some people, I think the silence is frightening. And some people find peace in the silence.
Sorry, y'all. We have a special guest.
Y'all can see
Kiki
her just walking around here knocking into the camera and stuff, just like she owns a place. Because I live with her.
Yeah, we have a special guest today. She's making a guest appearance.
But I forgot what we were talking about.
Some people can sit in silence and be terrified,
and some people find the silence freeing, peaceful, like even in meditation. Because even with meditating, the way one of my moving coach, she used to have us meditate and just really kind of try to pay attention to the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then with meditation, when you're really connected and you can sit in that silence, you start to be able to hear everything around you. You start to even be able to travel down the block if you get really into
I
it.
never knew how to meditate. I don't know what. I think I have a little hint of ADHD.
It'd be hard.
So yeah, it's like I've tried. And I be feeling so retarded, like girl, because it's like I talk to myself too. So it's like with meditation, you gotta be quiet. You can't talk, baby. I gotta say something like this is so stupid. I'm never gonna get nowhere.
And what might help you is because the one thing that they would always say to focus on first was the sound. So, like even in this room, you can hear like an ambiance if you really were
I hear it.
Were quiet enough. Then you would start picking up sound. And you can start hearing the bulbs and the lights buzzing. You can hear the battery and the engine of the camera running. Then you start to expand, and then you're like, I can hear birds chirping a little bit outside. I can even hear the wind on the leaves. And then you start to expand, and you're like, oh, I can hear the cars on the highway. So then your ADHD might actually work with that because you start to, if you could focus in on the sounds and then pick up, and then eventually, depending on like if you have music going or some kind of like humming or something that's really smooth, you'll start to kind of just phase into the meditation. I don't know how else to explain it. At least that's my experience.
I might have to try that.
It might work. It's really peaceful. But I would say I definitely prefer being around people. But like you even said, that can be draining, depending on the energy that you're around. So I do really appreciate my time alone.
I do.
But just like anyone else, you eventually want to be around, whether it's your friends, intimate partner.
And that's why I be like, it'd be weird, because even when I say, like, at work, when I be wanting to talk, it'd be like for the first hour or so, then I'd be like, okay, let me talk. Like, because it's, like, hard to, like, stay to yourself in that environment.
At work, it's different because you get in, you want to get settled in, you got to figure out what happened the day before to make sure you're caught up to everything.
Yeah.
You need a second, all of that. Depending on your morning, too. Now, there's some people that wake up, they're chipper, they want to spread the energy to everyone, they had their cup of coffee.
And it's me. I can go 12 hours without talking. I'm for real. I be telling people that, like, I promise you, I can go 12 hours without talking. Like, I talk to my friends enough. I have a motor mouth. I can go 12 hours with shutting the fuck up. I promise you I can.
Shut the fuck up.
Because I talk enough.
Is there a stigma about being alone, whether that means being single or living alone, depending on your age?
Okay, I definitely believe it's a stigma because a lot of people be feeling like at a certain age, like if someone's single and they're alone, they're miserable. No, they're not. And I'm not just talking about from my age group. Like, I know some people who are up in the age that are single and happy, like thriving. Like, and those are the strongest people out there, because those are the people that can have a man today and know their worth and not have a man tomorrow. That's why I'm like, some of the strongest people are the people who are single and alone, because they know their worth. They're not settling. They're not over here marrying a rock just because that rock proposed to them. They're not doing that. So I definitely believe it'd be a stigma. Like, people be like, oh, you old and you're single and da-da-da-da. Like, baby, I have friends and family.
Because people are assuming that you are alone because you have no choice but
yes, and it's like, I'm alone because of a choice. Like, I'm not gonna care. My mama used to like say that too. Like, you gonna grow and be by yourself, okay? Like, you know how easy it is to get some sex out here. It ain't hard.
So it depends on what kind of company you want to keep.
Exactly,
because
like.
At the end of the day,
it ain't hard to find a man.
Depending on if you want a man for the night or you want a man long term,
exactly.
It depends on what you are looking for. Because being alone, like you said, there's definitely a stigma about people who are alone. But if you're choosing to be alone, there's a reason why. I feel like you have to pay attention to people who can't be alone.
Yes.
So they're jumping relationship to relationship.
I do not like people. I don't want to say it's like I don't like friendly people, But I do not like people who just always in somebody's face cheesing. Like, I've learned that, and it is no shade to nobody, but I've learned I do not like that. Like, you don't have to do all of that. Like, you just walk around cheesing, hey, how you doing? 35, like, that's not your job.
What
like,
you're crying for attention. You're
that's
begging
what it
for it. You need the
gives.
attention. And
Like,
you need
it's no problem with speaking and saying, hey, how you doing, keeping it going, but every day you're like, hey, how you doing, do you need anything, la 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 la, like, oh my god, ew.
Some people are just being kind.
But it's like you're doing too much.
Some people find fulfillment being of service to others. I know I do like being of service to others, but I also like my alone time.
Yes, it's like I know how to separate the two. I know how to say, hey, how you're doing, and keep it going. I don't have to like, and it's just like, and it's like, maybe I should put it like this: the people who go out their way to do that. This person isn't even paying you any attention. You're walking up, hey, how are you? Oh, but I see if you're passing, you make eye contact, hey, how you doing? Da, da, da. But just going out your way, I don't like that. I think I hate overly friendly people. Hate is a strong word. I dislike overly friendly people. Like, you can be friendly, but overly friendly, like, you just have to, like that's weird to me. I don't like that. Because coming from someone who's a server, it's like we have to be friendly. Like, we have friendly characteristics by nature to be a great server. But overly friendly is insane, bro. Like,
I think we need more overly friendly people.
That person will love you for saying that, bro.
Depending on the context, because some people are just stone cold.
But it's like overly friendly, but you don't keep that characteristic up in other environments, if that makes sense. Like, you're overly friendly here, but then if you go somewhere else, you don't keep it going. Like, it's just something you do in this one setting. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Like, I'm trying to be shady.
I mean, are they a sociopath? Are they just preying on the people they work with?
It's like, yeah. It's like, it's like in this setting, around these group of peoples, you're like, hey, hi, da, da, da.
That's a whole other conversation.
You like go out into the real world, into places that people really don't know you for real, and you're not overly friendly.
But they might not be that comfortable around those people.
But no, that's weird. That's not your personality. You don't know these fucking people walking in here. You know these patients. You know nobody, but you're being friendly. But then you go in the real world, and you don't even speak for real. That's weird. No, it's not.
Oh, I don't know that.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Honestly, not. I ain't gonna say too much without saying anything, but it's honestly not your job.
Do you think the stigma change is based on your gender identity of being alone, like a man being alone or a woman?
Yeah, I feel like they feel like men who are alone are hoes, and they just want to have sex with different women. And men and women who are alone after a certain age are alone because they done got ran through and nobody wants them.
That is such a funny perspective. See, I would think that if a woman is alone, people will assume
they're hurt, they're damaged.
Yeah, I would assume that they'd say she's a problem.
Yeah.
With men, I feel like it's, oh, well, he's single. He's
a round of
applause. He's a bachelor. You know, he's an older bachelor.
Yeah,
it's like there's names for them.
It's like more positive for men, more negative for women.
I definitely feel that way.
When honestly, that woman might be a sugar mama. She might just be spending her little shaquan on these niggas and tell them goodbye, thank you for the weekend.
Because that's the other.
But also now we're ran through.
But that's the other stigma though, is that, you know, if you're alone by. Because what do they say? A geriatric pregnancy is fucking 33 years old. Something fucking
geriatric
ridiculous.
is such a stretch,
it's so fucking ridiculous. But so that, like you're saying, you say ran through, or you say, oh, you can't have babies anymore. You're fucking alone because I'm like bullshit. Get the fuck out of here.
Do y'all not see the statistics nowadays? Most women prefer to be alone.
Exactly. I'm like, they have all the power. They hold the cards. If anything,
and
I'm thinking that woman's alone because she wants to be.
That should fucking scare you. That most women just would rather be left the fuck alone than be with the man. Like, that should be fucking scary. But do you think these men give a shit? No. They just call us mean bitches. They just be like, this bitch just mean. No, like
Somebody would
no.
tell me, I was like, I'm trying not to call my exes crazy anymore. I don't think I've done it in years because I'm like, we use certain words so loosely. Oh, she's a crazy bitch. She wasn't really crazy. She just didn't fucking like you.
No, for real. That's what it was.
So I do definitely think there's a stigma depending on gender.
It is.
Do you have a fear of never settling down and dying alone?
Yeah, when I read that question, when I first read it, I was like, fuck no. But then I read it again, and I was like, honestly, I do. Because growing up as a kid and still now at this big age I am, I really do want to have a family, kids, and whatever. And I try not to put myself on a time clock for that because it's like I'm still trying to accomplish certain things in my life before I have kids and bring them in this world because I don't want to struggle with my children. I don't want to at all. So it's like, and then it's like for the last couple of years, I done had so many failed relationship and situationships. I'm like, bitch, am you the problem? Do I need to go to therapy? Do I need to work on myself? And it's just like I'm still learning things about myself. I'm an asshole. If you want to date me, just know I'm very sarcastic and I'm an asshole. And a lot of men cannot take that. I'm learning. I need a certain.
You say this all the time, and I'm like, what are you doing to these
I don't know what I'm doing,
What
Jerome. They call me mean. They say I have an attitude problem, and I'm like, shit.
You sound like a completely different person when it comes to your relationships.
I don't know.
Than what I've witnessed and knowing you the past couple of years compared to what the reviews are on dating.
The Reddit on me is like a 1.5 star, bro. Like,
do you become like like they say bridezilla, like a bride becomes a bridezilla? Do you become like?
I feel like I do. Like, okay, so I'm learning because even my brothers and my mom say like you have an attitude problem, and then my brother's like you have an attitude and you don't realize that you have an attitude. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's like. And then it's like, then I have my best friends, and it's like, are we just exactly best friends? Like, we're just, yeah, exactly. Like, we're just writing each other into the wrong shit. I don't know, but it's like, I don't personally feel like I'm that much of a problem. I feel like most men, not even most men, I take that back. I'm not going to say most men. I'm going to just say some men, they like timid women, and I can be timid, but I'm also a very fair person. So if you're doing something to me, I'm going to do it back to you. Especially if I communicate that I don't like it and I've said it several times and you're doing it, I love to give you back the same thing you're giving me back.
But before we get into all of that, like the get back and all of that in a relationship, because that's toxic.
It is.
I would say, are you running into issues? Because I feel like, even with my ex, I feel like there was like an authoritative thing that was
like the submissive and dominant role.
Yeah, because even with me, I don't consider myself to be authoritative. I'm still really fair. I can be, but in my relationship, especially with women, I try my best not to be. But I felt like in that situation, even if I said something like, "Hey, I clean this part of the house, or you're going to clean this part of the house," something like that, or something like that. I felt like because it was coming from me, even subconsciously, it was like, I'm going to rebel for whatever was going on with that. Do you feel like it's an authoritative thing? Do you feel like you
No,
clash?
because I feel like I can be submissive to a man, but it's like I'm not walking in being submissive. I read a post about that, and it was like crazy. It's like now women feel like you have to earn their submissiveness, but I hate to say it. Yes, you do. I'm not about to be in here cooking and cleaning and da-da-da-da, and you're entertaining several other women, and you're doing this. Like, and then for me, I would just say getting me into my submissive and feminine energy means that you have broke a barrier, and you're, like, a part of my heart now. Like, you got me in my feelings and things like that. And to me, I don't know, maybe I need to go to therapy, but to me, that makes me feel vulnerable because it's like you can hurt me at any minute. And I just feel like men don't understand that for a woman, when we get in that submissive and that feminine energy and then you hurt us, it takes us so much time to get back to us because we have became this person for you. So it's like that's why you have to earn that submissiveness. It's not that I'm saying it's going to be hard. I just ask for honesty and trust and communication to even get me there. To just be honest with me, and I will be like, and it doesn't even have to be like, we're together to get it. Like, if you're honest enough, yeah, I'll say like, oh, well, you're telling me you're doing this because at that time, and that's why I would say, when you're being honest, you're giving that person a choice to stay around. I don't have to stay around if I know you're doing these things, but I chose to, so yeah, and I'm gonna still be submissive with you. But I feel like I gotta stop saying most men. I feel like some men love to have their cake and eat it too. They put you in these spaces, and then I also feel like a lot of men I feel like a lot of men be attracted to certain women, and then they try to come and change that woman, or they try to tear that woman down. And I don't know if it's on purpose or just what's the word I'm looking for? Not intentional. But I feel like they be trying to do that too. Like, after my recent situation.
But see, your approach to me makes the most sense, because so what I've been experiencing on dating apps, and per our last episodes, I'm kind of off the dating apps just because I keep finding. I prefer your approach. The opposite of like, it's this new thing where it's like women are like, oh, I'm going to be submissive and I just want you to take care of me. Fuck that. I want to be able to. I'd rather you come the way you're saying, and then break down the wall to get to.
Yeah.
I don't want you just to be fucking submissive.
And I feel it's hand in hand, because some men, they love that submissive woman that's gonna come in and be like, take care of me.
I don't know.
Do whatever you want me to do.
No.
Me? Nigga, I got my own money, my own coin, and I'm the youngest out of 5 siblings. Boy, I don't need you.
Even if you take the money aspect out of it,
and that's the thing too. A lot of these men lead by money.
But say I have millions of dollars, just because you're fucking submissive. If I want a submissive bitch, I'm sorry. If I want a submissive bitch, especially one that's not gonna cook, that doesn't provide anything of value, you know what? Then I am gonna start paying for pussy. I'm gonna go fucking go get an escort. Fuck you, laugh at all my jokes. Tell me I'm the most fucking handsome. Let me fucking, and you get the fuck out at the end.
No, for real. Like, I really be feeling like that's what a lot of men want. They want you to stroke their ego.
No, fucking have a personality. Combat the things that I say.
Thank you.
Make me think a little bit outside of the box that I've created for myself. Is that too much to ask?
And that's why I be feeling like, am I mean? Because I'm not competitive, but it's like I'm always gonna have something to say.
First of all,
not always.
The last thing I'm going to think is that you're going to be submissive. That's just the last. So the fact that you're even saying there is a mode of submissiveness when it comes around, when you actually get to know her,
you're shocked.
Shocked, and you should be fucking happy.
Yeah, like, I'm telling you, a lot of these men, I'm not going to say a lot, I start saying a lot of men, but some of these men, I feel like, and also I just feel like they have a lot of men walk into things with me having an idea of me, because I'm a woman that can work many rooms. They have this idea of me, and they think I'm just like green or something, because I know how to play my role at a time, but when I see you trying to play me, oh, now you about to see who I really am. Like,
so one thing that got me off the dating apps, I'm not officially off, but I'm gonna get off because a recent match that I had when I picked up the touch on the phone, she's just like, I don't know, based on your pictures, I thought you were gonna be mad hood. And like, yeah, you know me, so you're like, I don't sound hood.
Mad hood?
She said, I thought you were gonna sound hood when I talk to you, like you don't like. And I just was like...
So is that a turn off for you, ma'am?
I didn't know if it was a turn off for her.
But it was a turn off for you.
Because,
excuse me, Miss Bitch, what did you just say to me?
Only because the only other time that someone has said something like that to me was, it was a guy, and he was on some shit. We were at a restaurant, and he was a cook and ran an elevator, and I finally took my mask down because it was during COVID, and he was like, oh, shit, you like a straight killer. Like, just because... at restaurants, by that time, I was ready to go. So I didn't look nice at all. I always looked like me. So I'm like, I'm not surprised at that. But being the background I do have and being in the hood and shit like that, even hood niggas, when they first meet me, would not expect me to, they expect me to sound the way I sound. They might even be surprised, like, why you feel so comfortable being in the hood? I'm like, nigga, my family's from the hood. Even though I was brought up here, I always have to come back here. My family's here. So
right.
I don't look at it as hood. This is just where my family is. So, So I've never gotten that before, and I just was like, maybe my whole approach to this is wrong. But I brought that up just because of the chance to get to know somebody and not project anything on them.
Right.
With dating apps, it's kind of hard to do that, but just projecting things on the people and then accepting like, oh, this is not
Except
who I
who they
think they
are.
and let me roll with this instead of trying to mold people and all that
And
shit.
that's what I feel like too. I feel like a lot of people just have to accept the fact that they're not. I'm sorry, Kiki distracted me, but they're not. They're not compatible with certain people. Like, you just have to accept that and stop forcing it. Like, especially if this person is making you come out of character, y'all are not compatible. You shouldn't want to be with them. I don't know.
The thing about people being lonely and not realizing it, because you're like, especially when it comes to dating apps, because that's my experience right now. It's just like, I'm like, I don't get excited when this person hits me up. I'm right now, this is just, it feels more of a task. It's nice to talk to somebody here and there, but I'm like, I'm not getting any of the vibes that I usually get so you start to think, well, why am I doing this then? And that's one of the things we're coming up with in these new episodes. I'm like, well, shit, am I a lonely person right now? Do I feel lonely in some aspects? But then I'm like, I'm not lonely.
Really.
I'm not lonely enough to entertain shit that's not going to service me.
It should be natural. You shouldn't feel like I have to talk to this person. I have to call you today. Like, it shouldn't feel like a task, like you said.
I forgot to hit you up.
It should just be like, yeah, it should just be like natural. Like, oh shit, like that's why I feel like most people don't understand too when it comes to dating. Like, they don't have to talk to you every day. Like, that's not even a privilege. It's just like that's weird.
And that's like coming into dating, especially after being married, coming into dating, I'm like,
it's a whole new atmosphere.
But that's the respect that I give it though. Is you don't owe me shit. Not especially that I know what it's like being in a marriage. Especially if we're just dating, we're not saying we're exclusive.
And I feel
like
people don't understand the difference between dating and. I don't think they understand what dating is as a whole.
Yeah, because
like I really don't think
it's
levels, and it's all based on communication. Have that communication, setting those boundaries in the dating level before the relationship, because there are certain things that they don't have to do.
You don't have
and
to
then
do
if you don't like it, you communicate to them and see what they say if they want to agree to that. But you can't just be like, oh, he ain't texting me all day. Yeah. Tell him, hi, I don't like that you didn't text me all day, because some people don't think like that. And I know it sounds weird to people, but some people really is not thinking, I have to talk to you every day. And honestly, if they're not talking to you every day, they don't like you like that.
And when you're dating,
or you didn't make them like you like that. Accept the facts. Like,
and if you're dating and like you've been communicating, you're not exclusive. You're not entitled to that.
Thank you.
They don't fucking owe you that
at all.
And I think sometimes and I guess if I put myself in the shoes of a woman, it could come off a certain way, like I'm being devious or I have other people I'm talking to. No, I'm just giving you that respect. I'm
just
a
communicate
one person.
Ask that.
Exactly. I do too much to have to be fucking.
And I don't think people understand that too. Like, that's a broke boy sport. I'm sorry. Any person that's out here just juggling multiple people and got them all feeling a certain type of way, that nigga ain't got no job or no responsibilities. It's no way he do.
It's too much. So when I say that, it's not because I have any other people going on. I just want you to know I respect you and your time enough to know that you're not entitled to hit me up. We're not exclusive, not entitled to tell me if you're talking to other people unless we have a conversation and you feel open to discussing that.
It's so sad because I've learned, like, from talking to like certain friends who are on the dating app, these women are lonely. Yes. And how you lonely and fucking on the second link up? Some of y'all fucking on the first, and then y'all want to be together. Newsflash, not gonna.
Because I'm like, you're that lonely that you're entertaining. I can tell you're entertaining multiple people because I know what it's like when you're entertaining a bunch of people. So it's like, and then you're just lonely though. So whatever ends up happening, you're just trying to fill a void that only can be filled by yourself.
Right.
No one in your bed, no one giving you sweet nothings and all that shit and a little attention for a little bit is going to fill that void.
And that's really sad, though. That's really sad. And I feel like at our big age, when I say our big age, 25 and up, I feel like you should know better than doing that.
That's how I feel. And
like,
I don't
what?
feel like people are taking that time. I don't know if it's a post-COVID thing, and I don't know if it's even a Southern culture thing. Like this whole thing of everyone wanting to be taken care of is has me mind boggled. And
I just feel like I don't know my take on it, taken care of, because it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say I want to be taken care of, but it's like, I know for a fact I ain't going 50-50 on no damn bills. I pay a light bill, water bill. That mortgage, them big boy bills is yours.
I feel like that is understandable. I do feel like that's understandable because as a man, even I'm like, I would like to be able to take care of those things.
The big boy.
But it's just like, what? Please tell me your hard work.
But the taking care of everything is crazy because some of these girls don't even know how to make a pot of rice.
And that's my only thing.
And that's why I argue every time when I say the 50-50. I was like, I will never go 50-50 with a man because at the end of the day, all you're doing is going to work and then splitting half the bills. While I go to work, I have to come home, I have to make you dinner, I have to wash your clothes, I have to
Even if you're paying 50-50, to me, 50-50, if you really are trying to provide it, is a temporary thing if you don't have your business and everything together. But even at that point, like I saw something, I was reading something, maybe it was a self-help book, but it was like, you shouldn't be in a relationship until your business is taken care of.
Ooh,
so
hello.
That was another reason why I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to chill out for a little bit because
do not be getting in a relationship if you ain't there. Like if you ain't there, and it ain't even being financially there, mentally. If you ain't
that part too.
Don't be dragging nobody while you trying to find yourself. You putting them in all type of emotional abuse. Like no, because it's like I've had the best of both worlds. I had a man who can provide, and they were mentally not there. I had a man who couldn't provide, but he was mentally there. Don't do it until you got both pieces, bro. Because it's not going to work.
It's much better. Or, like, if you have an understanding from communicating, like, yo, we're both building together. Right. But then you're not dating in the right tax bracket if you're trying to approach someone who's like, I have my shit together and I'm looking for a provider. But it's the thing, what weirds me out, though, is the thing about, like, wanting to be taken care of. And I'm just like, but what are you bringing to the table?
What are you bringing to the table?
And the thing that it's becoming such a common thing now, I think that it just has me a little mind boggled because I'm like, at that point, I might fuck around and be a bachelor for the rest of my life. And that's why
I'm like, it's so weird and I feel so bad because it's just so hard when a man meet an independent woman for real. Because a lot of girls say they're independent, but it's like, are you really?
But where are they for real then?
Yeah.
Because that's actually what I'm looking for.
Like,
none of them seem to be independent.
When you really meet an independent woman and you have to go through that phase of growing her trust and everything, it'd be too much. Because they so used to them fake independent women where it's like, you know, and I remember I had talked to this one dude once, and I didn't even talk, like, we just having a conversation. He was like, he like boss bitches. I was like, what makes them a boss? They got their own business. What kind of business if they're still asking you for money?
That's weird. But see, I think that it's not a norm yet, and to me, it's very attractive to see a woman that's like, I do have my own business. My car is better than yours. I own my house, and you're still renting. That doesn't intimidate me. Now, that might not want that. If I'm not there, of course, that woman might not want to date me, and that makes perfect sense.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of men who are intimidated of, yo, she might be a little further than me, and not a thing of wanting to mooch off, but it's like you can learn from, and that's where the whole masculinity thing comes through, because it's like there's some women that believe like, well, if I'm up like this and you're not there yet, then we shouldn't be together, which I kind of agree with that. But I'm like, but you can learn. I feel like there's a culture where it's not okay for men to be like, but I can learn from her.
Yeah, they're not used to that.
Which is crazy to me because
it's so weird.
The other way, it's okay though. If a man is successful in this way, and a woman comes along, she doesn't have that much success.
It's weird because it's also that conversation where they be like, me and one of my guy friends had this conversation where it was like how a woman could build a man up, but a man can't build a woman up. So that's so weird to me because it's like.
But a man can't build a woman.
Thank you, yeah. And I was like, huh? They was like, because any day, like they were just saying it on some type of time.
No, but see, that's my whole thing of me saying that a successful woman and a man being like, yo, I can learn from her because she can big me up. And it's saying that a man can't, but most of the time because a man doesn't want to, because a man wants to be able to control a woman.
Exactly.
So then we're in this little weird thing.
It's like a tug of war. And it's like weird because I also be feeling like nowadays, especially in this Atlanta culture being here, I just feel like men just think because they have money, you're supposed to listen. Because they have money, you need to be submissive. I'm providing for you. These other guys can't do what I'm doing for you. But we never even experience anything intimate because you trying to showcase your money on every date. Like, bro, I want to know you without the money.
And
like,
that's why I think it's so weird. It's weird
so
because
weird.
both don't work. Because it's so interesting, the box that we just put ourselves in, and just not just falling in love with people just for who they are and figuring out the rest of it as you go along.
I don't care about your money, bro.
Because the truth is,
the cheapest dates was the funnest dates, bro. Like, what?
Because the truth is, you could be up one day, you could be down the next.
Thank
the fact
you.
is that we're a partnership, and I got you.
And it's like, are you going to love yourself when you don't have that money? That'd be my biggest question with men. I feel like if I ever do that little balloon pop thing, my question's gonna be fire. Pop, do you love yourself without money? How do you feel about yourself when you don't have money? What do you want from me? Because these men, their money be their personality.
And for me, honestly, I'm like, yo, if we can't build together, if you can't love me when I'm not where I even see myself, and if you can't love me enough to envision where I'm going, then it's not going to work out, because that means you only want me when I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what a relationship, that's not even realistic of what life is, because you have ups and downs. So, you know, you can be rich one day, just like someone was saying, the CEO of Peloton. Remember Peloton was the treadmills and shit? It was big during COVID.
Oh, wow.
Peloton, it was big during COVID because everyone was home. When everything opened back up, I think they were valued, don't kill me if I get the numbers wrong, like somewhere 13 billion. Let's say 13 billion. Dude's broke now. Had to sell his houses and everything. He said maybe in the long run it'll be great for the kids, but he was like, what I learned though is that none of it's real. He said that money, I never saw the money. The money they just said this is how much Peloton was worth, and this is how much I actually had. I was a billionaire 20 times over, whatever it was. Now he's broke. His wife is still with him. His kids still riding with him.
Thank you.
But it's like, that's what you want to see, though. Who's still riding with you? Exactly. I always think about Kanye when he kept making all these things about, if you're not a billionaire, you can't talk to me, all that stuff. All of these people that were around him, knowing that he was going through a mental issue, but they knew that he was supposed to give people $1 million here and there and taking care of people. And you become a yes man because they have money. But when you're not a billionaire anymore, you're struggling, you're selling off houses, you can't perform at certain venues because of the hateful shit you were spewing at Jews. Who's around you now? When you don't have the money, you're not doing for people. So I think it goes hand in hand, because at that point, shit, I'd rather be alone too. Do you think people suffer in silence when it comes to being alone?
Yeah, of course. I feel like they suffer in silence and they mask it.
Yeah, because
they mask it with smiles and being overly friendly. That's why I'm like, it's no shade, y'all. I promise. I promise it's no shade. Oh,
I think they do. And they're overly friendly. Did you hear that?
No, they really mask it. And I feel like, I don't think they do it on purpose. I really think they've tricked themselves into believing that they're happy 24/7. And it's okay to not be happy sometimes. It's okay to feel other emotions outside of happiness. It is okay. It's just like, I feel like sometimes it's like you just have to tap into what is hurting you. Like me personally, the past 4 years, I probably done got my heart broken like 32 times. That might be excessive, but just know it's been a minute. It's been a lot in 4 years. And every time I go through this sense of loneliness and feeling like I'm gonna be by myself. But it's like I go through it. I go through the emotions. I feel it, and that's why I always tell my friends like, feel it, feel it. Just feel the emotions. I be trying to feel it so bad I cry. I never cry though. That'd be so weird. But I be wanting to. I be like, cry, Miranda, please cry. Maybe it'll help. But I never cry. But I do feel it. Like I go through the emotions and I feel it. And then I work on building myself back up. I reflect. I figure out why I'm feeling like this. What did I do to make me feel like this? And you know how to come back. And thank God, y'all need to find y'all some good friends. A lot of y'all friends, especially y'all that be out here flexing, a lot of y'all friends are around y'all for what you can provide. They're not around you for you. Thank God to my friends. Shout out to my friends. Shout out to NWA, niggas with attitudes. See our group chat. Shout out to us. Cause y'all like, bro, you gotta be around that circle of people to help remind you of who you are. And I feel like a lot of people don't have genuine friends. I stress that a lot to a lot of the guys I've been dating and everything, because it's like, you're around people who are around you for what you can do for them. Those are not your friends. They checking on you just so at the end of the conversation they can ask you for $20. It was never real.
Sometimes that be your family.
Sometimes it be your family. It was never real. Be around those people who want to be around you for you and not for what you can do for them. And that's why I'm always that person. I never made friends with people for an image. I never made friends for people because, oh, I see they doing it. Like, I've never, first of all, they get on my motherfucking nerves. I don't want to be around you. Like, I am somebody, I generally be around people because of people. I've never, and that's weird to me for people to be around people for what they can do, but I've seen it so many times, and it's like crazy to me that other people can't see that. And that's when you have to sit back and reflect and start telling people no, start being selfish, and put yourself in that lonely state so you can see who is there for you. Sometimes that's why you have to be lonely, to see who is there.
Yep. And embracing those emotions, like you said, like I have a rule where whatever emotion you're feeling, allow yourself
to feel it. Do not mask it.
At least 5 minutes, whether you're angry, crying, healthy outlets for it. You experience those emotions, though you don't bury anything down. That's literally shit that, unfortunately, in my family, they would even say, like, you just got to push that shit down. No. You embrace that shit, let that shit hover at the surface.
And I do feel like with us growing up, in a lot of black households, I don't really know. I'm black, so I can only identify what I grew up with. But in a lot of black households, there will be times where you have conflicts with your parents, and they will never talk about it. They'll just start talking to you the next day to show you that it's all good. Don't do that. Don't do that. Learn how to talk about the problem.
I walked in on a family member in the process of trying to commit suicide. When I reached out to my guardian, they told me that did not happen. Never talked about it. Didn't realize that was something traumatic until being an adult. Because when you're a kid, these things just happen. You just adapt. They
said to talk about it. All right.
But it's crazy that, like you said, if you don't have people that are around you that have your best interest in mind, or they are just looking at what you can do for them, when you are by yourself, it's such an important time, like, and it's such a revealing time for you if you do the work.
Right.
Because flowing through those emotions gets you to, what am I surrounding myself around?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the people I'm surrounding myself around, and how does it affect me? And then you can start to make changes for yourself. Being alone is almost like a reset, almost to sit in your own silence. I don't like to say emptiness because there's a bad stigma with empty.
Emptiness is crazy. Emptiness breeds serial killers.
Because silence is not empty when you start to actually listen.
Emptiness is like just zero emotions.
And that's different.
That's scary.
That's different from silencing
the
noise.
Outside noise, yeah.
Because then you can really focus on what's within.
Mm-hmm.
If you are blessed to find a life partner, do you fear that person dying first or vice versa?
I fear them dying first. Like, I don't know. With me, I don't really know though, because it's like, I hate to say, but with death, I've kind of like numbed it a little bit. But it's like also I like since my grandma died. I know this sounds very cliche, but like since my grandma died, like I haven't experienced any death as traumatic. Like even when I had very close relatives die, I think I bury it after my grandma died. I know that's not good, but I don't know. Like and it's like I haven't really experienced the love yet where I'm like, bro, I can't live without this person. Like I can't, because it's like everybody that I done met after being heartbroken 32 times, you gotta prove to me so I can put you there in my heart. But I don't know. I like, but the Delulu me is like I would love a notebook type of love story.
I think,
But I know that's not realistic, but I don't know.
I think there might have been a threshold, at least for me. I think there were like one too many deaths that I experienced, and I just kind of was like, just experiences of loss. I will say, not even death, just loss. That I think I'm not gonna say my heart is cold or anything, but I think I'm desensitized to certain shit.
Desensitized for sure.
Especially with like being married, I thought that okay, I'm probably going to die with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it before, but to be honest, after the marriage ended, I thought that I would be a little bit more like.
And you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck, if that's it, and then just with the rest of the other shit that's happened in my life, I'm like, well,
but do you feel like, not I'm interviewing and asking questions, but do you feel like that comes from just a buildup of like bullshit? So it kind of just made you like, man, it is what it is when they all came to an end? Because I feel like that also lessens the hurt at the end, because it's like you kind of seen bullshit. And you kind of like, they kind of already exposed you to some shit that you thought they would never do. So when it comes to the end all of all, you're like,
yeah, because I'm like, so I don't have a great relationship with my parents, and that's the biggest thing for
that's
with
scary,
care,
Jerome.
where they don't, like I said, I receive love from other places, but I just know that they don't have interest or love me the way that parents usually
should.
Yeah. So I seen bullshit there, but then just growing up and just like life be life, and like for everyone, it does. Just the losses that I've experienced, that the loss of life that I've seen for people that had mad potential that I feel like they shouldn't have been taken away. My issues with, I realized that after a friend passed away, that I wasn't doing the homework that I should have been doing. But after removing certain things and people out of my life, I was like, fuck. I had completely forgot that I had one friend pass after that. I wasn't even fucking with God. I wouldn't even say the words God. And I forgot that I had went through this phase where I would be like, yeah, I believe in a higher being. I would not even mention I was that upset with God, but I didn't realize that.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's certain shit that starts to happen where it's like, yo, I got to do this by myself. I'm on this grind by myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people I can count on, friends, some family, but at the end of the day, I'm by myself doing this shit. So with the marriage ending and I realized I had that reaction to it, I was like, fuck. To me, that's one of my worst fears, is to be numb like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, fuck, I knew that it was a possibility of happening. But I'm like, fuck, it could possibly be happening in real time. But it's like I said, I don't wish for anyone to die alone. I feel like you should be around people. Whoever those people are, I don't know. I'll put it like this. I would still love a family. I would still love to be able to have a family and for my last person to be taking around them. In reality, from the life that I've seen and shit, I came in alone, I'm end up dying alone. That sounds so bleak, and I'm not trying to be bleak, but it's like, that's the reality that I've seen. That's the reality that people have shown me time and time, that I've been like, I'm this person, I'm a genuine person, I care, and knives in the back. So it's like, when you start to see reality of how people treat people, and how people are just being selfish, yeah, I'd love to be able to affect change and bring
and
good
that's some
and
real
positive
shit when
energy
you
to people.
say that, though, for real, because I can get that. I definitely get that. I 100% get that. Like,
But I
from
don't want to
what
feel that
life
way.
has. Yeah, you don't want to feel that way, but it's like the reality of things. Fuck, like, yeah, I'm cool with how life is. Enjoying people while I can, never looking forward to anything because they switch up so fast, and it's just like that's sad that that's the reality of things. But you just have to protect yourself so you don't crash out. That's the new word, y'all.
Exactly.
That's the new word, crash out.
And I always be optimistic. I always be looking for the best in people. I don't want to live a pessimistic life. But I'm like, yeah, it could turn out that way. I used to tell my moms all the time, like, I really hope that the nigga that you with, you die before him so he can take care of you. Because I'm not doing it. I put my sisters on notice. I don't care how much money I get. I'm not doing it. If we can't be family in
how we supposed to be family
in real time, right now, all that. Oh, I'm dying now. Deathbed confessions, funerals, all that shit. I don't care about that.
And that's
shit.
the realistic truth of that too. Like, I don't really be thinking family understand that too. Where it's like, bro, like, I don't care about no blood relations. Like, we ain't built a relationship for me to like care. Like,
and when we were living, we don't see each other. But you want me to get on a plane for a fucking funeral?
Yeah,
I don't even believe in. Once the spirit's gone, I believe you're gone. The soul's gone. That's just the vessel. I appreciate your vessel, but the vessel's gone. We just have to figure out how we're going to properly take care of the vessel. You're gone. The time that we have now when we're alive and we can pick up the phone and talk to each other, we can FaceTime. It's the most important. Me showing up for a funeral, I don't care about that shit. Show up in real time when we're alive, breathing. We can acknowledge each other. We can smell the flowers. We spend so much time being selfish, caught up on.
And that's what I will never understand is like how people can be like so selfish and just like so prideful, especially family members, like over bullshit.
You would think that it would go away with age, but people don't sit with themselves.
Honestly, when I went on a cruise, I traveled so much last year. I met this guy, and this shit will always stick with me. He was like, once you turn 23, who you are is who you are for the rest of your life. You just get old. Like, yeah, you grow, you learn, but that core, that seed of who you are did he say 25? One of those years, but whatever year in your 20s, that's who you are for the rest of your life, bro. Like, you grow, you learn, but if you're just a stubborn piece of shit, that's who you're gonna be at 40, bro. Like,
I disagree. Only because with my marriage, that definitely helped me to calm down. Because I even still see certain things coming back from before the marriage, and I'm like, some of it is toxic. But
that's with growing and learning. But at the same time, you are still who you was.
I'm still that nigga. I'm still that.
You just learned the bad parts and how not to do it.
Oh,
you're still that person. You're just learning. You're still,
I'm like, God damn, I thought that nigga was locked up in the basement.
Yeah, like
niggas saying the right things, and I'm like, that nigga's like,
he's still there.
I'm like, shit.
So it's like, and that's why it's like when I look at older family members and I see that I'm like, but I can't change you. This is who you are.
But imagine I'm not even trying to do that.
Exactly. It's like, and then you're not trying. Like, who the fuck am I to be your therapist? Nigga, I got bills. I got my own family. Like, I ain't got time to be trying to mold a 50-year-old. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
Our camera's about to die. So,
oh man,
what's your cry in the car song?
Solange, Cranes in the Sky.
Ooh, that's my shit. I did a good freestyle of that shit. That shit is good. Mine is Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. That's my shit. If you had to eat one thing for a week, what would it be?
Lima beans and fried pork chop. Lima beans and rice with smoked turkey necks and fried pork chop.
It's gonna be black and salmon for me. Black Michael Jackson or white Michael Jackson?
Black. What?
Both. Okay. We are never truly alone. The energy of the universe, which includes the spirits of our ancestors and loved ones, are always with us. Sometimes we feel as though we have yet to find our tribe, but they're out there. Until then, fill the empty spaces with your light and love.
Amen.
That's our episode 506, All the Lonely People. I'm Jay Schuler, and this is
Mara.
And we'll be right back at
Y'all
you.
see that worm?
That's a good worm.
All right.